Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off this presentation on the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Today, we'll explore a set of 17 global goals adopted by the United Nations in 2015. These goals are designed to tackle some of the world's most urgent social, economic, and environmental challenges. Our aim is to understand how these goals can help us create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. Over the course of this presentation, we'll look at what the SDGs are, why they matter, and how we can all contribute to transforming the world through these ambitious targets. Let's get started. Today, we're going to explore the 17 distinct United Nations goals that together form the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs for short. These goals are part of a global effort to create a better, more sustainable future for everyone. The SDGs are an international initiative aimed at ensuring that all people can live in peace and prosperity. They focus on ending poverty, protecting our environment, and promoting fairness and opportunity for all. When we talk about the global goals or the SDGs, we're referring to this universal blueprint that guides governments, organizations, and individuals in working towards these common objectives. This introduction to the SDGs is important because it sets the stage for understanding how these goals connect to our daily lives and the broader themes of sustainability and social responsibility. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how each of these 17 goals plays a vital role in shaping a sustainable and equitable world. Nations around the world have made a strong commitment to prioritize the development of the least developed countries. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, are specifically designed to tackle some of the most pressing issues, such as discrimination against women and girls, hunger, AIDS, and poverty. These goals are deeply interconnected, meaning that actions taken in one area can influence progress in others. For example, addressing poverty can also improve health outcomes and promote environmental sustainability. It's important to recognize that sustainable development requires a balanced approach, considering environmental, social, and economic factors all at once. In 2015, the United Nations officially approved these SDGs, sometimes called the Global Goals. They serve as a global call to action, aiming to end poverty, protect our planet, and ensure that by 2030, everyone can live in peace and prosperity. This background highlights how the SDGs are not just isolated targets, but a comprehensive framework for creating a better future for all. They exemplify the overall theme of our presentation, working together globally to build sustainable, inclusive development. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, consist of 17 interconnected goals that serve as a comprehensive blueprint for building a better, more sustainable future for everyone. These goals are designed to address global challenges like poverty, inequality, climate change, and environmental degradation, all in a coordinated way. In 2015, all UN member states came together to adopt these goals as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This means that countries worldwide are committed to working towards these shared objectives, recognizing that our future depends on collective action. As we explore these goals, keep in mind how they connect to broader efforts for sustainable development and the importance of global cooperation in making lasting change. Let's talk about the UN's approach to tackling poverty and promoting equality. The UN aims to ensure that the rights to economic resources are equal for men and women. This is crucial because equal access helps empower everyone and promotes sustainable development. They also plan to mobilize a significant amount of resources from various sources, including governments, private sectors, and international organizations. Furthermore, establishing strong policy frameworks is a key part of their strategy. These policies will be based on gender-sensitive and pro-poor development principles, and they will be implemented at national, regional, and global levels. The goal is to create an environment where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Looking ahead to 2030, the UN has set a clear target: to cut by at least half the percentage of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its forms. This involves not only reducing numbers, but also implementing social protection programs tailored to each country's needs. The idea is to ensure broad coverage, especially for the most vulnerable and marginalized groups. Now, why is this so important? Because despite significant progress, like the fact that the proportion of people living in extreme poverty dropped by more than half between 1990 and 2015, there are still millions struggling to meet their basic needs. Poverty remains one of humanity's biggest challenges. This is the essence of SDG number 1, no poverty. It's about eradicating all forms of poverty and ensuring that everyone has the opportunity for a better life. The journey is ongoing, but through these targeted efforts, progress is definitely within reach. To ensure we can make the necessary infrastructure and technological investments to boost agricultural output, international cooperation is absolutely essential. This collaboration helps us tackle hunger and malnutrition in all its forms, making sure that everyone, especially children, has reliable access to enough food throughout the year. Looking ahead to 2030, the UN's targets are quite ambitious but vital. They aim to end all types of malnutrition, double the incomes of small-scale food producers, and increase agricultural productivity. Additionally, they focus on creating sustainable food production systems, preserving the genetic diversity of domesticated animals and plants, and removing trade barriers in global agriculture markets. Over the past 20 years, we've seen remarkable progress, about a 50% reduction in the number of undernourished people, thanks to strong economic growth and improvements in agricultural output. Many developing countries that once faced severe hunger and famine are now able to meet their nutritional needs. We've made significant strides, especially in regions like Latin America, the Caribbean, and parts of Central and East Asia, where acute hunger has been considerably reduced. All of this work aligns with SDG number 2, Zero Hunger, emphasizing that ending hunger is both a global challenge and a shared responsibility. It takes multisectoral, gender-sensitive, rights-based strategies to really address disparities and promote universally good health. As we've seen, national averages often hide the fact that many countries are actually falling behind. When we talk about a multisectoral approach, we mean involving different sectors, like health, education, economy, and social services, to work together. No single sector can solve these complex issues alone. Right now, the world is off track when it comes to achieving the health-related sustainable development goals. Progress is uneven both within countries and between them. For example, the difference in life expectancy between the countries with the shortest and longest lifespans is a staggering 31 years. That's a huge gap and highlights just how unequal health outcomes can be. This brings us to the interconnectedness of these goals. The 2030 Agenda emphasizes that sustainable development and good health are deeply linked. To reach SDG 3, which is about good health and well-being, we need to also focus on ending poverty and reducing inequality. Achieving universal health coverage is key to making these connections happen. So, in summary, addressing these disparities requires a comprehensive, inclusive approach that recognizes how all these factors are intertwined. It's about creating a world where everyone has a fair chance at good health, no matter where they are or their circumstances. On this slide, I want to emphasize a very important target, ensuring that a significant percentage of people, both male and female, as well as all children, attain essential reading and numeracy skills. These foundational skills are crucial for individual development and for the progress of societies as a whole. When we talk about literacy and numeracy, the goal is to bridge gaps, particularly gender gaps in education, and to make sure that disadvantaged populations have equitable access to all educational and training opportunities. This is about creating a fairer, more inclusive system where everyone has the chance to succeed. Moving to inclusive education, by 2030, the aim is clear. We want every boy and girl to receive a primary and secondary education that is not only free but also equitable and of high quality. This education should lead to relevant learning outcomes, meaning it prepares students for real-life challenges and opportunities. All of these efforts tie into the broader goal of universal access, making sure that no one is left behind because of their gender, background, or circumstances. This aligns with SDG 4, which is all about quality education. Ultimately, our shared goal is to create an education system that is accessible, inclusive, and capable of empowering every learner to reach their full potential. Achieving gender equality is about more than just numbers. It's about ending prejudice against women and girls in all its forms around the world. This includes eliminating violence, such as human trafficking and sexual exploitation, which are serious barriers to equality. When we talk about ending discrimination, we're emphasizing that every woman and girl deserves equal respect and opportunities. Even though more women are holding public office than ever before, there's still a lot more we can do by promoting even more female leaders. Encouraging women to take on leadership roles and ensuring they have equal chances to participate in decision-making is vital. It's about creating a truly inclusive environment where women's voices are heard and valued. Empowering women and girls isn't just a moral imperative. It also drives economic growth and sustainable development. When women have equal access to land, property, healthcare, technology, and the internet, they can fully contribute to society. This isn't just about fairness. It's about building a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. All of these efforts are central to SDG 5, which is about achieving gender equality. Together, by removing barriers and opening doors, we can create a more just and equitable world for women and girls everywhere. Preserving and repairing ecosystems related to water, like marshes, rivers, aquifers, lakes, mountains, and forests, is absolutely crucial for ensuring we have sustainable freshwater supplies. These ecosystems naturally filter and store water, supporting both human needs and biodiversity. Equally important is encouraging and strengthening local communities' involvement in managing water and sanitation resources. When communities are engaged, solutions are more effective and sustainable because they're tailored to local needs and realities. Now, when we look at access to clean water and sanitation, the numbers are sobering. Over 800 million people still lack basic water services, and more than 2 billion people don't have access to safe and affordable drinking water. Back in 2015, 2.3 billion people didn't even have basic sanitation, highlighting the urgent need to improve these services. And it's not just about access. Water scarcity is a significant concern. More than 40% of the global population suffers from water scarcity, and this problem is expected to worsen as temperatures continue to rise. Since 1990, we've seen improvements. About 2.1 billion people have gained access to cleaner water, but at the same time, every continent is experiencing declines in drinking water supplies. All of this ties back to SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, emphasizing that ensuring everyone has access to safe, affordable water and sanitation is fundamental to sustainable development. Today, I want to highlight a critical point. Globally, the rate of energy efficiency improvement needs to be tripled if we are to meet the UN's ambitious targets. This means that modernizing existing technologies and building new infrastructure are essential steps. Not only will these efforts promote economic development, but they will also bring significant environmental benefits, helping us move towards a more sustainable future. Moving on to renewable energy, achieving SDG 7 by 2030 will require substantial investments in solar, wind, and thermal power. These investments are vital to increasing the share of renewable energy within the world's overall energy mix, making our energy systems cleaner and more sustainable. Now, let's look at access to electricity. Between 2000 and 2018, the percentage of people with access to electricity increased from 78 to 90%. That's a substantial improvement. At the same time, the number of people without electricity has decreased to around 789 million. However, as the global population continues to grow, the demand for affordable energy will keep rising, emphasizing the importance of expanding access even further. All of these points tie back to SDG 7, ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for everyone. Achieving this is fundamental to sustainable development and improving quality of life worldwide. By 2030, the United Nations has set some ambitious but vital goals. They aim to sustain economic growth on a per-person basis, ensuring that as economies expand, individual well-being improves too. At the same time, they want to boost productivity through innovation and technology. These are key drivers of sustainable development. It's also about encouraging policies that create decent jobs and foster entrepreneurship. These policies help ensure that economic growth translates into real opportunities for people. And importantly, there's a focus on gradually increasing resource efficiency. This means finding ways to grow economically without causing more environmental damage, effectively separating economic progress from environmental harm. If we look at the expanding middle class, it's a significant indicator of progress. Today, around 34% of all jobs in developing nations are held by the middle class, almost tripling since 1991. This expansion reflects improved economic stability and increased income levels for many people. Despite setbacks like the 2008 economic crisis and the ongoing global recession, the number of workers living in extreme poverty has decreased substantially over the past 25 years. This progress shows that even amid challenges, sustained efforts can lead to meaningful improvements. All of this ties directly into SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. It's about creating opportunities for everyone, fostering inclusive growth, and building a more equitable economy. These goals are interconnected and essential for a sustainable and prosperous future for all. By 2030, the UN has a clear vision for building a better future through infrastructure. They aim to create structures that are durable, reliable, sustainable, and of high quality. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. It's about fostering inclusive and sustainable industrialization that benefits everyone. They also want to expand access for small-scale businesses, helping them grow and thrive. A key part of this goal is retrofitting industries and upgrading infrastructure to make them more sustainable. This means improving existing systems to be more environmentally friendly and efficient. Additionally, the UN plans to provide financial and technical support to developing nations, enabling them to catch up and innovate. Innovation and infrastructure spending are crucial drivers of economic progress. As more than half of the world's population now lives in cities, developing new industries, advancing information and communication technology, and expanding renewable energy sources become even more vital. These technological advancements are essential for finding long-term solutions to both economic and environmental challenges. By creating jobs, increasing energy efficiency, and fostering innovation, we can build a sustainable future. All of this ties back to the overarching theme of sustainable development, making sure that progress today doesn't compromise the needs of future generations. Global solutions are essential if we want to effectively address income disparity. This means we need to strengthen oversight and regulation of financial institutions and markets worldwide. By doing so, we can help ensure fairer economic practices. Additionally, promoting foreign direct investment and development aid in areas with the greatest needs can make a significant difference. These measures work together to create a more balanced and inclusive global economy. When we talk about economic inclusion, it's really about implementing sound policies that empower lower-income workers. We want to encourage everyone, regardless of gender, race, or ethnicity, to participate fully in economic life. This is crucial for building a more just and equitable society. Now, looking at the bigger picture, income inequality is a pressing issue. The data shows that the richest 10% of people now control up to 40% of global income, which is staggering. Meanwhile, the bottom 10% only make between 2 and 7%. This gap is widening, even in developing nations. It underscores the urgent need for targeted solutions to reduce these disparities. This ties directly into SDG 10, which focuses on reducing inequalities. Achieving this goal is vital for creating a fairer world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Cities must also be made more resilient to disasters, reducing the number of lives lost and economic losses. This means developing integrated policies and plans that prepare for and respond to both natural and human-made disasters. Building disaster resilience is crucial for sustainable urban development, ensuring communities can withstand shocks and recover quickly. To make our cities truly sustainable, investments are essential in public transportation, green public spaces, and inclusive urban planning. These investments help guarantee that everyone has access to essential services, decent and affordable housing, and economic opportunities. When we focus on inclusivity and sustainable infrastructure, we create cities that work for all residents and promote long-term resilience. By 2050, it's projected that 2/3 of the world's population will live in cities. This rapid urbanization, especially in developing countries, has led to the expansion of slums and informal settlements. These areas pose significant challenges to sustainable development because they often lack proper infrastructure and services, making it harder for residents to thrive and increasing vulnerabilities. This trend underscores the importance of SDG 11, which focuses on creating sustainable cities and communities. As urban populations grow, our challenge is to manage this growth responsibly, making sure cities are safe, inclusive, and resilient for the future. Now, let's look at how implementing the 10-year framework of sustainable production and consumption initiatives can make a real difference. By promoting sustainable public procurement, we can help ensure that natural resources are used more effectively and responsibly. Focusing on sustainable consumption, one key area is reducing food waste at both the retailer and consumer levels. When we cut down on food waste, it improves the efficiency of supply chains and manufacturing processes, which not only helps with food security, but also conserves resources overall. Another critical point is water usage in agriculture. Since agriculture is the largest global user of water, accounting for over 70% of freshwater consumption, it's essential to find ways to improve water efficiency in this sector. Doing so supports sustainable development and helps us manage our precious water resources more wisely. All of this ties back to SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, highlighting the importance of making smarter choices in how we produce and consume to create a more sustainable future for everyone. By 2030, the UN has set some important goals to strengthen our response to climate change. They want to improve how countries prepare for climate-related issues, include climate change mitigation strategies and policies, and build capacity for early warning systems and adaptation efforts. This also means supporting the most vulnerable nations, like the least developed countries and small island states, to help them manage the impacts of climate change more effectively. When we talk about achievable targets, assisting marginalized areas is a key step. Doing so will directly advance Goal 13, which is climate action, and also support other sustainable development goals. This involves integrating disaster risk reduction, human security, and sustainable natural resource management into national development plans. It's about making sure no one is left behind and that development efforts are resilient to climate impacts. An inclusive approach is crucial because no nation is immune to the effects of climate change. In fact, greenhouse gas emissions have increased by more than 50% since 1990. The climate system is changing over time due to global warming, and these changes could have lasting, even permanent effects. That's why urgent action is needed now. This slide highlights the importance of SDG 13, climate action. It's a call for all of us to recognize the severity of the issue and work together to implement solutions that protect our planet and future generations. By 2030, the UN has set some ambitious goals for our oceans. The key focus is on preventing and reducing marine pollution, which is critical because pollutants can harm marine life and affect human health. We also need to sustainably manage and protect marine and coastal ecosystems, ensuring they remain healthy and productive for future generations. Addressing ocean acidification is another vital target, as increased CO2 levels are making our oceans more acidic, threatening marine organisms like corals and shellfish. Additionally, implementing science-based management plans is essential to control overfishing and safeguard marine areas, helping to maintain balanced and resilient ecosystems. All of these efforts are interconnected because our global systems, those that keep Earth habitable, depend heavily on the ocean's health. The oceans regulate temperature, chemistry, currents, and support a vast diversity of life, all essential for climate stability and human well-being. Proper management of this invaluable resource isn't just about protecting nature, it's about securing our future and combating climate change. This background ties directly into SDG 14, Life Below Water, highlighting just how crucial it is to protect our oceans for both environmental and human health. By understanding and acting on these goals, we can help ensure a sustainable and thriving planet for generations to come. Let's talk about some of the major challenges facing our land-based ecosystems today. Desertification, drought, and other forms of environmental degradation have caused significant damage to these ecosystems worldwide. But it's not just about recognizing the problem, it's about taking action. Efforts like sustainable agriculture and reforestation are essential because they help repair and restore these lands, ensuring their health and productivity for the long term. Moving on, another critical issue is the illegal trade of protected plants and animals. This illegal activity is a major threat to biodiversity because it not only destroys ecosystems, but also fuels conflict, corruption, and insecurity in many regions. Strengthening international cooperation to combat poaching and trafficking is vital if we want to preserve the rich diversity of life on land. And speaking of biodiversity, our forests and terrestrial ecosystems are home to millions of species. Protecting these habitats is crucial, not just for the survival of individual plants and animals, but for maintaining the balance of global biodiversity. Sustainable management of forests and wetlands is key to preventing extinctions and keeping our planet healthy. All of these efforts align with SDG 15, Life on Land, which underscores how interconnected our actions are with the health of our ecosystems. By working together to restore damaged lands, fight illegal trade, and protect natural habitats, we can ensure a sustainable future for all life on land. On this slide, we're focusing on SDG 16, which emphasizes peace, justice, and strong institutions. The goal here is to ensure that decision-making processes are inclusive, representative, responsive, and participatory at every level. This is fundamental because it helps maintain access to public information and safeguards our core freedoms, things that are vital for sustainable development and peace. When we talk about inclusive decision-making, the United Nations is committed to making sure everyone has equal access to justice. This means working to advance the rule of law both nationally and globally. A key part of this effort is to significantly reduce bribery and corruption in all their forms, which undermine trust and fairness. We also aim to establish efficient, responsible, and transparent institutions everywhere, whether in local communities or at the highest levels of government. This transparency and accountability are essential for building strong, trustworthy institutions. Moving on to ending conflict and insecurity, this is about working hand in hand with communities, governments, and organizations to drastically reduce violence in all its forms. Achieving peace is not just about stopping conflicts. It's about protecting human rights and reinforcing the rule of law. Additionally, part of this effort involves controlling the flow of illegal weapons and increasing the participation of poorer nations in global governance. Strengthening these links helps create a more secure and equitable world. In essence, SDG 16 reminds us that peace, justice, and strong institutions are interconnected and crucial for a stable and prosperous society. They lay the groundwork for all other sustainable development goals, reinforcing the importance of inclusive, fair, and effective governance for everyone. Fostering an open, transparent, and equitable global trading system is really crucial for helping developing countries expand their exports and boost their economies. When we target support and craft policies that encourage investment in the least developed nations, we can make a real difference. Promoting global trade isn't just about removing barriers. It's also about increasing funding from various sources, including official development assistance. This financial support is vital to help these countries progress. And it's equally important to have coordinated policies that focus on debt reduction, restructuring, and sustainable financing. These are key to ensuring long-term stability and growth. Now, to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, international collaboration and partnerships are absolutely essential. No single country or organization can tackle these massive global challenges alone. Only through united efforts and strong partnerships can we hope to meet these ambitious targets. This slide highlights SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. It reminds us that collaboration isn't just helpful, it's fundamental to creating a more equitable and sustainable future for everyone. As we look to rebuild our economies, it's essential that we focus on ensuring everyone can enjoy a good life on a healthy planet. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, give us a roadmap to do this in a way that is resilient and sustainable, helping us prepare for future challenges like pandemics and climate change. Resilience is about more than just bouncing back. It's about being proactive. Countries that adopt the SDGs need to keep a close eye on their progress, regularly report on their efforts, and hold themselves accountable. This accountability is crucial because it helps drive real progress and ensures that no one gets left behind. Equally important is engagement. We must involve local residents in supporting the SDGs, making sure their voices are heard. Outreach is also key, reaching out to national and global audiences to promote these goals widely. Building official SDG partnerships between nations and key stakeholders can amplify our efforts and create stronger, more coordinated action. In conclusion, achieving these goals requires resilience, accountability, and partnerships. And I encourage all of us, whether individuals, communities, or governments, to take active roles. We all have a part to play in creating a sustainable, inclusive future. Let's work together to turn these goals into tangible results for everyone and our planet.